Once the face of a global phenomenon, Tobey Maguire seemed untouchable. Then, without warning, he vanished. No scandals, no headlines, just silence. Hollywood moved on, but fans couldn't stop asking, what happened to Spider-Man himself? Behind the fame, something shifted, something that changed the course of his life forever. Was it the pressure, the pain, or a secret struggle hidden from the cameras? The answer isn't what anyone expected, and it reveals a side of Tobey few have ever seen. The disappearance mystery. Tobey Maguire's sudden retreat from the Hollywood spotlight left millions confused and searching for answers. Once known worldwide as Spider-Man, a role that defined a generation, he simply vanished from major roles and red carpets without the usual fanfare of a fading star. His absence was not due to a public scandal or a dramatic fall, but felt more like a quiet withdrawal, an actor who chose peace over pressure, control over chaos. Behind the scenes, whispers circulated about health issues, burnout, and personal battles, but none captured the full truth of why Tobey stepped back. The industry watched silently as roles passed him by, projects moved forward without him, and his name faded from casting calls that once clamored for his talent. Unlike many in Hollywood, Maguire didn't chase the spotlight or plead for his return. He quietly turned inward, focusing on rebuilding his life away from public eyes. This disappearance wasn't the result of failure, but a complex mix of physical pain, emotional fatigue, and a deliberate choice to step off the relentless entertainment treadmill. Speculation grew as years passed. Fans hoped for a return, a new film, a sign that the familiar face would once again grace screens. Yet Tobey remained elusive, reinforcing his privacy and limiting interviews. The mystery deepened. Why would such an iconic actor essentially vanish at the peak of his fame? What pressures or revelations forced this break? Answers existed, but they unfolded only slowly, revealing layers of a man worn down by more than just fame. His story challenges the Hollywood narrative that success equals constant visibility. Tobey's retreat hinted at something deeper about the cost of stardom, the hidden toll on body, mind, and spirit. It suggested that sometimes, walking away is a form of survival, not defeat. And while his absence left a void, his silence spoke volumes about what few dare to admit. The struggle behind the scenes is often far greater than what fans and the public perceive. Tobey's reemergence in recent years stunned the world, no longer the youthful hero, but a man transformed by time and turmoil. His choices since then, including selecting challenging roles and focusing on production, signaled a new chapter, a journey of reconciliation with his past and reinvention. To understand why Tobey disappeared for so long, it's essential to look back to the roots of his life, shaped as much by hardship as by Hollywood dreams. His early years were far from the Hollywood glamour that teens in Santa Monica imagined. Raised by a struggling teenage mother and a father who worked scattered jobs, stability was elusive. This childhood of instability, marked by poverty and emotional hardship, laid the groundwork for the resilience Tobey would need later, but also for the anxieties that would shadow his career. From food stamps to fleeting homes, young Tobey's world was one of survival more than comfort. The family moved often, spending nights in shelters and with relatives, the promise of a better life distant and uncertain. This backdrop of struggle shaped a boy who craved security and an escape, a dream he initially hoped to find in cooking, following his father's footsteps. But life had other plans, nudging him toward acting in a way no one could have predicted. His mother's desperate attempt to steer him away from an uncertain future came through a simple bribe: $100 if he took a drama class instead of home economics. This moment marked a pivotal turning point. The struggles of childhood were only the beginning. Tobey's climb to fame was shadowed by physical and emotional battles that would eventually crystallize in his Spider-Man years. Roots of a troubled childhood. Tobey Maguire's early life was far removed from the glamour and stability that many associate with future Hollywood stars. Born in Santa Monica to a teenage mother, Wendy Brown, and a part-time construction worker and cook father, Vincent Maguire, his entrance into the world was marked by financial hardship and family instability. His parents, never married when he was born, separated when he was barely 3, setting the stage for a tumultuous childhood. The young family's life bounced unpredictably between relatives' homes and overcrowded shelters. They survived on food stamps and the generosity of neighbors, constantly uncertain where their next meal or night's sleep might come from. Tobey has openly described this period as a harsh introduction to life's realities. Poverty cloaked in California's sunshine, dreams visible but just out of reach. Any sense of childhood normalcy was overshadowed by the struggle to survive day to day. This constant upheaval affected Tobey deeply. He battled anxiety from an early age, often falling ill and skipping school. The frequent moves and emotional turmoil eroded his ability to focus and thrive in traditional schooling, leading him to drop out before completing ninth grade. Acting became not just a career choice, but an escape, a way to create a new identity apart from the instability that defined his youth. Despite the hardships, Tobey's mother was determined to offer him more than she had. While Wendy juggled odd jobs and attempted her own acting career, she also supported Tobey's early interest in entertainment. A pivotal moment came when she incentivized him with a $100 bribe to take drama class instead of home economics, a decision that would redirect the trajectory of his life forever. Simultaneously, life sent another shock. Tobey's father, overwhelmed by the grief, the fear of cancer, and the family's confusion, robbed a bank near their home. The incident rocked Tobey's already fragile world, mostly destroying his sense of security. While the young boy was developing his inner strength, he also received an emotional wound that he would later carry without complaint. During the difficult period of his adolescence with a broken family and growing pressure, Tobey kept resorting to acting auditions, besides having no formal representation or guidance. He went through a hard time and faced obstacles that were sometimes crazy, such as commercials he was not allowed to do because he looked too sad, or being rejected by TV shows. But through the chaos and the pain, he fought to take every chance that came his way with amazing stubbornness. His early trials exposed the brutal truth that lay behind the pleasant and glamorous surface of Hollywood. A young man standing underneath the glaring lights and in the line of hopeful roles was actually fighting his own personal battles, struggling to prove his worth in a world that very often appeared to be against him. These initial fights shaped the intricate character who would later be known all over the world. It was a trek full of suffering, development, and an indomitable spirit to live. Yet, even when Tobey was getting closer to his big break, new problems waited for him, particularly when he was cast in the part that would turn him into a global superstar, but would, at the same time, almost destroy him physically and mentally. The pressures of fame and the physical demands of his most famous role would soon reveal the true cost behind the mask of Spider-Man. The Spider-Man rise and fall. Tobey Maguire's casting as Spider-Man in 2001 marked a turning point not only in his career, but in superhero cinema itself. Facing immense skepticism about his suitability for the role, he was considered too short, too lean, and untested. Tobey committed to an intense transformation. He gained 25 pounds of muscle, devoured 4,000 calories daily, and pushed his body with workouts that included 500 daily push-ups. The gamble paid off as audiences embraced him warmly, but the physical toll was immense. Filming the Spider-Man trilogy pushed Tobey to his limits. He endured long hours wearing a 35-pound harness while swinging across sets, often at heights and speeds that risked serious injury. He suffered daily back spasms, bruised ribs from stunt falls, and constant chafing. One snapped cable dropped him 15 feet onto crash mats. Refusing stunt doubles during close-ups, Tobey demanded authenticity, but the price was his body breaking down under relentless pressure. Negotiations for Spider-Man 2 revealed cracks that hinted at deeper struggles. Tobey's back injuries were severe enough that he brought a neurosurgeon to Sony's offices to justify demands for a higher salary and profit share. The studio grew suspicious after spotting him playing basketball and poker, activities inconsistent with his claimed physical limitations. Secret preparations for a replacement occurred, with Jake Gyllenhaal quietly tested and fitted in case Tobey stepped away. Rumors flew, and the tension strained relationships. Despite these difficulties, Tobey returned, though not without scars. Spider-Man 2 became a massive hit, grossing over $780 million worldwide, but Tobey's health deteriorated. He endured 6-hour shoots hanging upside down by a harness, suffering headaches, vomiting, and weight loss. Sleep became elusive, reliance on medications grew.